Maria Kannon, how did the hidden Christians pray? 1. Maria Kannon. When people hear the name Maria Kannon, some may sense something dubious, while others might think of it as a Christian version of Shinbutsu Shugo, the syncretism of Buddhism and Shinto. Yet this is not the case. Syncretism refers to the blending of two or more religions into a new form of belief, but Maria Kannon was not born from such a fusion. It was a disguise, an ingenious way for hidden Christians to venerate the Virgin Mary under the guise of a Buddhist image, escaping the eyes of persecutors. The figure may appear to be Kannon, the bodhisattva of compassion, but in truth, it is Mary herself, hidden in plain sight. Among the surviving Maria Kannon statues, some bear distinctly Western facial features despite their Buddhist form. The image of a mother holding a child evokes both Kannon's compassion and Mary's maternal love. Hand-carved statues reveal the deep, personal devotion of believers who poured their longing for Mary into the wood or stone. Meanwhile, mass-produced ceramic figures, many imported from China, seem to reflect a quiet market of faith, where artisans responded to the needs of their hidden customers. The Maria Kannon statues found in Nagasaki, the Goto Islands, and Amakusa stand as silent witnesses to both ingenuity and devotion. 2. The faith of the hidden Christians. Such persecution, Christians outwardly adopted Buddhist or Shinto identities while secretly maintaining their faith. These hidden Christians passed down their prayers orally within small, isolated communities. Daily devotion often centered on a hidden gojintai, a sacred object kept deep within the home. A mirror or a stone might serve as a substitute for the cross, and a Kannon statue might stand in for the Virgin Mary. Their prayers, known as orasho, were derived from Latin and Portuguese liturgical texts, transformed phonetically into Japanese. For example, Ave Maria, Gratia Plena, became Ave Maria Gracia Purana, and in some regions further evolved into Ave Maria Gracia Purano. Though the words changed, the spirit of prayer remained intact. The orasho bears a striking resemblance to Buddhist Shingon, Sanskrit Dharani chants. Both emphasize the spiritual power of sound rather than meaning. Yet this is not syncretism. It reflects a broader Japanese tendency to find sacredness in rhythm and resonance, rather than in doctrinal precision, when adopting foreign religious forms. As persecution intensified, believers fled to remote areas and islands, where their faith evolved in unique ways. In one village, Mary was worshipped as Kannon, in another, she was called Tenjin Sama. The forms differed, but the devotion remained constant. 3. The hidden Christians today. After the Meiji Restoration, the ban on Christianity was lifted, and believers could finally profess their faith openly. Yet not all hidden Christians returned to the Catholic Church. Over centuries of isolation, many had developed their own theology and rituals, distinct from both Christianity and Buddhism. Today, their numbers have dwindled. Some rituals survive as cultural heritage, but these are reenactments rather than living faith. The disappearance of the hidden Christians may seem tragic, yet it can also be seen as a natural conclusion. Once there is no longer a need to hide, the hidden faith can quietly fade away, having fulfilled its purpose. 4. Visiting a hidden Christian village. I once visited Takayama, a small settlement in northern Osaka Prefecture known as a hidden Christian site. From Hankyu Ikeda Station, I took a bus and got off at a stop partway up the mountain, then climbed a steep path toward the village. This was the birthplace of the Christian daimyo Takayama Yukon. Stone monuments remain, some carved with crosses, others said to be Maria Kannon statues. The day was quiet, with no one around. I discovered nothing tangible, yet I still remember the chill of the mountain air. The traces of faith had long since faded, but something of the old prayers seemed to linger in the stillness. The faith of the hidden Christians has long been extinct. Maria Kannon was not born from the fusion of Buddhism and Christianity, yet today some regard her as a transcendent being, an ascended master embodying universal compassion. This seemingly dubious deity may, in fact, reflect a new form of faith. Of course, the author cannot say for sure. But even as the forms of prayer change, the human impulse to pray, to reach towards something beyond oneself, remains unchanged.
Thank you for watching until the end.